Previously on Supreme Mad Martial Arts. After crossing over to the martial world, Ezra found out he had been poisoned and humiliated for a year and then tricked into a public sparring match, but he had knocked out his opponent with a secret spirit weapon. The bright red blood sputtered out, startling everyone watching. The surrounding disciples were all stunned. They could not believe that Ricky had actually been defeated. One of the disciples came back to his senses, pointed at the dagger in Ezra's hand, and cried out,
"That's a spirit weapon!"
Looking at the layer of faint black light that had yet to dissipate on the Nether Dream dagger, everyone was even more shocked. They never thought that Ezra would actually possess a spirit weapon.
Junior Brother Tien, thank you for letting me win!
Ezra took back the Nether Dream dagger and cupped his hands with a smile. Ricky was shocked and furious. Suddenly, he spat out a mouthful of blood and fainted. Ezra shook his head and sighed. He turned his head and looked around.
Is there any other junior brother who wants to spar with me?
All the disciples avoided Ezra's gaze, not daring to look at him. Ezra shook his head and sighed, then turned around and left. At this time, the light's voice sounded.
Master, someone is secretly spying on you.
Ezra's heart skipped a beat, but he did not stop and continued walking forward.
After comparing the memories, this person is the sect master of Sky Profound Sect, Lester Zhang.
Ezra was startled and fell into deep thought. Ezra narrowed his eyes and thought.
Could it be that Ricky did this under Lester Zhang's instructions?
When he returned to his room, Ezra could not hold on any longer. He sat on the bed, and cold sweat dripped down his forehead. His face was as pale as paper. Ezra asked,
Light, do you have any way to detoxify the poison? If this poison is not detoxified, I'm afraid I won't be able to live for more than a few days.
The light replied.
You won't be able to live for more than a few days. Within 5 hours, you will gradually lose all of your bodily functions and die completely.
So I overestimated myself.
Ezra smiled bitterly. The light said,
Master, you were poisoned with a mixed poison. I don't have complete information about this world. And you have been poisoned for too long. The poison has long since entered your bone marrow.
Then you mean I'm dead for sure?
The light said.
There is one last solution. Master, you can fight poison with poison, but the probability of you successfully expelling the poison is less than 70%.
Ezra's face turned pale, but hope appeared in his eyes. Although the probability of curing the poison was not more than 70%, as long as he still had hope of living, he was willing to try all kinds of methods.
How do I detoxify the poison? Hurry up and tell me.
Ezra asked anxiously.
You need to prepare 5 tails of centipede leg, half a tail of scarlet bee stinger, 3 tails of red-crowned crane poison.
Light listed more than a dozen poisons in a row, as well as the exact amount of poison needed. Ezra remembered its words. Then he sat cross-legged and adjusted the chi and blood in his body. When his body looked normal from the outside, he pushed the door open and walked out. Soon, Ezra arrived at the pharmacy. In the pharmacy, a chubby outer sect disciple was sitting lazily behind the counter. Only when Ezra walked to the counter did the fat disciple fake a smile and say,
So it's Senior Brother Zhao. Are you here to get the herbs for free again?
He deliberately emphasized the word free. His tone was full of ridicule. However, when the fat disciple heard Ezra's words, he pointed at the door and said to Ezra,
Senior Brother Zhao, please go back. The sect master has disqualified you from obtaining the herbs for free.
What?
Ezra's expression changed. He had already been poisoned for more than a year. During this period of time, his cultivation had been rapidly decreasing, and he simply did not have the ability to complete the sect's missions. Thus, he did not have any Tao points at all.
Do you think I don't have Tao points?
Ezra's face was calm. He took out his identity jade plate from his bosom and placed it on the counter. No matter what, he had to get the poison he needed. Ezra said indifferently,
I want some centipede legs, scarlet bee stinger, and red-crowned crane poison.
You actually have Tao points?
The fat disciple was a little surprised. He finally stood up from his chair and reached out to take the jade plate to check it.
Is the inner disciple's identity jade plate something that you, an outer disciple, can just touch?
Ezra looked cold as he slapped away the disciple's fat hand.